best day. I feel like I'm a member of the Babysitters Club today. And Martin, shout out to you, because today we are talking about the Northwest Ohio Teen Book Festival, which is taking place tomorrow. They have so many phenomenal guests, and we are so lucky because we have 3 of them here, and I'm going to let them each introduce themselves. Hello, good morning, ladies. How are you?
Hi, so I'm Mindy McGinnis, and I'm going to tell you real fast, I think we're more like Spice Girls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm Scary Spice. Okay. And I just can't come up with a Babysitters Club like parallel right now, so we're going to go with Spice Girls.
Okay, but you're totally Christy. She's a Christy.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. I read scary books when I was little, so I'm Mindy McGinnis, and I have just released Tuesday. My newest book came out. It's called A Long Stretch of Bad Days, and it is a murder mystery set in a small town that revolves around a podcast and local history and some series of very horrible things that happened 30 years ago that the girls that host the podcast are looking into, and people don't want them to be doing that.
Very cool. All right, and you, my dear?
I want to say first, I think it's amazing that our names all start with M.
Yes, we're quickly morphing into a girl band.
Well, I'm Margaret Rogerson. My most recent novel is Vespertine. It's about a girl who's training to be a nun who when her convent is attacked by ghostly spirits, she gains control of a relic to which is bound an ancient spirit called Revenant, and she uses its power to battle the forces of the undead.
Ooh,
And I'm the author of 3 novels and 1 novella.
Excellent. And last but not least?
Hi, so my name's Kuhn. My first novel came out in 2021. It's called Among Thieves. It's a fantasy heist story. So 6 thieves team up to steal a magical artifact, but every member of our heist team is secretly planning to betray the rest of the team. So yeah, super fun and twisty to write. The sequel comes out this July. So Thick as Thieves comes out July 25th. So
That is so cool. Okay, so for those who don't know about the book festival, kind of explain your role and what you guys will be doing there.
So the Northwest Ohio Teen Book Festival is going to be taking place tomorrow at the Rossford Junior Senior High School. And I think we have 20 authors there, is that correct?
yeah.
Oh, maybe it might even be more than that, because I
Yeah.
think she added a couple more. So
Wonderful. Yeah. So Denise, who runs Gathering Volumes, which is your local indie bookseller, is in charge of it, and it is fantastic. Actually, the initial one happened last year, and it was amazing. I had a wonderful time. I was here for that. Came back for this year, and there's just a huge collection of authors, and students can come, but also adults. So it's called the Teen Book Festival, but adults are welcome. If you're an adult and you want to come, please come. We would love that.
Now, Margaret, do you know which of the different breakouts that you'll be in tomorrow?
I do know that I will be on 3 panels.
Very
I
good.
believe we're also doing board games.
Yeah.
Board
With the
games.
teens, which will be so fun. Yeah.
Are you good at board games?
No.
Me neither.
They'll be the team.
They will win.
They will win. They will win. Well, MJ, now, what is your favorite part about events like these?
It's just so fun. I mean, honestly, all of it. The best part, meeting the readers is really great, but just being surrounded by people who love books. Like, there's something so energizing about just being around authors and other people that are passionate about reading and are involved in the book industry. It's like, I'm with my people.
Yes, you're with your peeps, the people that are excited about writing, excited about being creative. And I'll start here and we'll move over. What is the most unique question that you get at events like these?
Gosh, I think that often people will ask, what is the one question you always wish someone would ask you? At which point I'm just like, not my personal life. I don't, so that's always a tough one. I think on the flip side of that, the most common question that we get the most often is, where do you get your ideas from? Yeah. And it's Target.
Like the store?
Yeah.
The store?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when they have a sale, it's great. You just go in there.
And it just gets those endorphins going.
It's wonderful.
And you're multitasking. What a woman. What about you, Margaret?
Oh, for me, it's IKEA.
Oh. Yep. Because they have defaults, right? Because they have food and... all right.
No, the where do you get your inspiration question is definitely the most common. The most unusual question. That's a good one. I would actually have to think about that.
This is the most unusual question.
Yeah, right.
This is it, right?
This one right here. I did it. All right. What about you?
Yeah, I would say the one that stumped me was I was at a signing one time where someone came up and asked me to sign my book and said, can you write your favorite quote from the book inside? And I was like, oh my God, what a beautiful thing to ask for. Also,
every quote from my own book just left my brain.
Yeah.
So that was a challenging one.
Yes. Well, and I can see that. I do that all the time, and usually I'm live on camera. So at least you had an opportunity to flip through the book.
It was
All
like,
right, well, we have so many more questions. Can you girls stick around for another segment? Fabulous.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more with Mindy, MJ, and Margaret. Hey there, we continue the Literary Spice Girls reunion here on Set at What's Going On. I am talking with the three most phenomenal authors, Mindy, Margaret, and MJ, because they're here for the Northwest Ohio Teen Book Festival. Welcome again. Thank you for sticking around. We've been having so much fun. And you get questions a lot about, where does your inspiration come? But one we got from a viewer was, how long does it take when you get the idea and you start writing to when it hits the shelves?
So when you're traditionally published, it takes anywhere from 18 months to 2 years for your book to go from your proposition that you gave to your editor to make it to the shelf. So MJ was saying earlier, when someone asked her to write her favorite line from her book and inscribe it, you probably wrote it 2 years ago. So it would be very difficult to just come up with something like that. That is all because of production, and you go through so many editorial passes and cover art and so many different things. In terms of actually writing the book, it's different for everyone. I have written a book in 4 to 6 months, and I also have 2 that I wrote in 3 weeks because I'm a great procrastinator.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's a talent of many writers, right? Well, okay, so we also talked about a little bit in the break about covers, and one of the things that a lot of viewers don't know is that you guys really don't have any impact on that. I know they kind of drag you on Twitter sometimes, and they're like, but it doesn't look like the main character. Kind of walk us through, and we'll start with you, MJ. Like, how does that process visually help you in your writing, or does it not?
Yeah, I mean, for the cover art, it's great because they just kind of ask you basically, well, for mine, they asked me roughly if I had any ideas.
Yeah.
And I basically said, I don't know.
Right. That's not, I'm the writer.
I was like, I don't know, I'm not a visual artist. And then they hand it to a wonderful wizard. My cover artist's name is Christian McGrath, and he is a wonderful wizard. And then the wizard creates a cover that magically looks exactly like how I dreamed it would look, and had no idea that that's how I dreamed it would look.
Right, right. Well, and do you ever go to like the photo? Have any of yours ever had like a photo shoot?
Yes.
Yeah? Was it fun?
I didn't go.
I didn't invite you?
Oh, no. We are very removed from most of that process. Now, I do have some friends that have been involved at that level, but a lot of the time, at this point, artists and creators, we can be throughout the country,
right,
because everybody's online and we can work remotely. And so a lot of the time, your cover artist, I have a friend that writes graphic novels, and she's located in Buffalo, and the lady that does all of her art lives in Spain.
Wow.
And so they have never met or crossed paths, and they have to work very closely together because it's a graphic novel, but everything is done online. And so, like, very often when it comes to our own covers, we don't have a lot of control, but much like MJ, I am not a visual person at all. So I will just most often be extremely happy with what they give me. My past 4 books, my cover artist is a fantastically talented person named Corey Brickley, and their art is wonderful, and I won't say beautiful because I don't write about beautiful things,
right,
but they do a wonderful job of capturing the feel, and that's more important than capturing what the main character looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I'm lucky because my cover artist, her name is Charlie Bowater, is great at capturing just the ambiance of the book.
Right.
I always love receiving my covers because I have really no input whatsoever, and I don't receive any kind of previews of the art or anything.
Yeah.
So my editor will just be like, okay, Margaret, here it is, it's done.
Right.
And it's always like, ah. Whenever I open, there's usually some crying involved, so yeah.
I would be the same way. Okay, now before we let you guys go, what is the book that changed it for you?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question. There's so many books. I will say the book that I always say inspired me to write my first novel that came out. It's called The Lies of Locke Lamora. It's by Scott Lynch. It is probably now, maybe aside from Six of Crows, one of the most famous fantasy heist stories.
Yeah.
Kind of set in like a fantasy Venice sort of setting. I read it in high school, and it just stuck with me, and I ended up writing a book very much inspired by it. So.
Wonderful.
For me, it was Beauty by Robin McKinley, which I also read in high school. And I remember thinking when I finished it, I one day want to be an author and write books that will make people feel the same way I did when I read this book.
Nice. Very nice. So mine would be The Stand by Stephen King. I started reading Stephen King way too early. and actually, I shouldn't say that. It's never too early. It made me who I am today, and that's been very pleasant for me. I don't know about other people, but I feel fine about myself. So The Stand by Stephen King, and a lot of the reason why that is because the things that I wanted to write about were, usually dark or upsetting or would put people on edge, and I didn't think you were allowed to write about those things.
Right.
And then I was like 11 or 12, and I found Stephen King, and I was like, oh, you are.
Oh, you are.
You are allowed to do that, and you can write that word down.
Right. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, gals, for joining us. And you'll actually be seeing them again in the future. We're going to have them back so we can talk about their work really specifically. The Northwest